Oh, what is going
Billy's
on,
on the
guys?
controls today, everybody.
I'm on the controls today. We're already starting off great. And it's a great kind of just segue to what we're going to be talking about. But before we get into all of that, right, it is another episode of MillenniYell with Billy and Mel. We're here. Mel's back, guys. She's back.
Did you miss me?
She made it back.
Did you guys miss me?
She found her way back to another episode. So we're super glad to have her back. She's feeling a little bit better, so that's good. But what we're going to kind of be talking about today is we're going to be reviewing 2020 from our perspective, right? Some of the things that went really well, some things that might have not gone so well, because there was a whole heck of a lot to unpack when it comes to 2020. So, but before we get into that, Mel, how are you doing? How is everything going?
I am much better. I appreciate you carrying the podcast last week. I speaking of 2020, with the stresses of this year, I ran myself. I ran myself so rugged over the last couple of weeks with some stress. I think I literally made myself sick, but I'm feeling much better. And we're planning on getting out tonight. Or unfortunately, I know everybody probably saw the new regulations happening here with the shutdown. Unfortunately, for many businesses and restaurants. So one last hurrah happy hour dinner tonight. I am looking forward to, but.
Yes. Yeah, I think we're going to do the same thing. It's actually Megan's birthday, Monday, December 14th.
Oh, nice.
So her birthday is then. So, but obviously, restaurants won't be able to take indoor clientele. So we'll have to make do, right? We'll have to make lemons. Yep. We'll have to make lemonade with lemons, right?
Yes.
So, yes. But anyways, I definitely want to get into this. I think it's a really important topic to talk about, especially we are coming to 2021, right? I got my Christmas tree behind me, right? So we're coming close to Christmas, right? And so that sparks a lot of people, maybe thinking about the next year and some of their goals. Mm-hmm. But it's always, I don't know how you feel, but I always feel it's good to look back and see where your victories were and see where some of your missteps were, so that you can set up 2021 to be the best possible year.
Absolutely. And I also think it's things that we can look at and say, see you later, and never look back.
Yes.
So
yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, I think we should just get right into it. I'm going to start off with, my bad, right? So I kind of separated good, bad, ugly. I'll start off with bad, kind of a light bad. My ugly is kind of definitely ugly, but bad is definitely the shutdown, right? I think we could probably both agree on that. Starting in early March, just the shutdown, the people, local businesses struggling. They're still struggling, especially like you said with the restaurants, right? I feel like that's the biggest one that's going to get hit with the shutdown this go around. And just watching a lot of people struggle was difficult this year. And for me, especially with the shutdown, it definitely hampered a lot of my goals. I didn't change the finish line. I still went after them, but it definitely hampered a lot of growth that I thought I would have. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely think with the shutdown in businesses and things that changed people's lives significantly, and also health issues too. I know, fortunately, nobody that I knew was really affected by COVID, or we have people that have family members that lost their lives. But for me, earlier this year, I spoke a little bit about it, but my sister was diagnosed with CNS lymphoma, brain tumor. So she's actually been in the hospital. She was at the med center since April, and then at the rehab center since September. So she hasn't been home, and that's really affected my entire family. Obviously her and her not being able to have family around and whatnot has really, it's changed a lot, not just for our family, but perspective in, not taking things for granted, and your health and all that. So that was a pretty big bad for the year. And unfortunately, her not being home for the holidays too. We're trying to make the most of it by seeing her, doing the window visits outside now. But
yeah.
No,
I definitely have some friends that I know that were affected by COVID. I know one of my good friends, his dad's in the hospital and not doing so well. So thoughts and prayers are with him, so he gets better quicker and comes out on this thing on the other side. But yeah, the health aspect of things too. Not just small businesses being significantly hurt, but like you said, and it's crazy to think about because the shutdown wasn't just the United States, right? It was worldwide. And so that was even just another crazier kind of deal to see that happen at the very beginning, was just, it was just really surreal. So, thank God the vaccines are getting, passed and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll see some alleviation from COVID, right? And we can get to some kind of normalcy. I guess I'll get into the ugly, right? Let's get ugly. And like I said, one of the things that I love about what we do is that we don't try to get political or religious or what have you. Like we believe what we believe. That's fine. Like we don't have to talk about it just because everybody else is talking about it, right? Why be part of the chatter? But I think a big thing too that's just really, I was talking to my dad about it last night, and it's just really, you want to think that this country is definitely united, but from what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've seen on social media is that this country is way more divided than we ever had realized. And it's just sad because, when I think of us as a country, I think of everybody taking care of everybody else, right? And everybody, kind of being there for each other. And you're not seeing that as much as I'd like to in this situation. And like I said, regardless of your political beliefs, the tape doesn't lie, right? The video, the feeds don't lie. You see it. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of our view of humanity and people, the tension, even just in little tiny aspects of how people treat people. We've talked about this in some of the podcasts, just even out in public now. There's so much that has changed on a big scale, political and race, and and then also just in general, in kindness. That's what we're obviously lacking a lot of. But yeah, I definitely agree with that there's definitely a change in people not caring as much about other people and putting people first. And that's, we definitely need more of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So yeah, that was definitely my ugly of the year. I don't know if you have one. Do you have one, or you want to move on to the good?
While we're talking about ugly, I might as well just throw up, I know we have our millennial meme later, but I thought this was a great image here to talk about reviews. If you're listening and not watching, but it says 2020, it's a mask, and it has a 1-star review with 87,365 ratings. Not human friendly, strongly not recommended. 2020, do not recommend. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about ugly. And had some relationship changes this year. I know we talked that there's a lot of effects with COVID that had strains on family and significant others and friendships. And, I definitely had some contention in my family just because of things going on with my sister and, and struggling with, doing the right thing with her and different opinions with my mom and things for a little bit. And and we've gotten past that, and things are actually, you know, a lot better with that. But you can definitely tell the stresses were high. But yeah, big relationship changes going into 2021 for me. But you know, that can be a positive spin on things. And you know, I think that they said too, if COVID had exacerbated some stresses that were there, and you know, without getting too much into it, that was pretty ugly for me. But
well, I'm glad that, I mean, like you said, like I really applaud you for, you know, being a little bit vulnerable there and telling everybody about, you know, it is. We all have struggles. We're all going to deal with them. And it was exasperated by 2020, right? It just seemed like, you know, that, you know, what's it saying is that if everything can go wrong, it'll go wrong or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it goes, but yeah, it just seemed like nothing could go right a lot. But there are some things that did go right this year. I believe. I know you have some things, some wins, and that's what's really important here. I talk about this a lot. We've talked about it before, is that you got to celebrate these victories, because especially in times like we're in, you have to have those little mental kind of like hurrah moments, right? And those are the moments that will push you through to the next victory, right? And so for me, some great things, I'm not even call them good, right? Some really awesome things happened this year. You know, the first one that I have down is I didn't quit, right? You know, and you're the same way. You didn't quit. You kept going after it. You know, we just had to readjust, right? You know, created a great network of people that are, you know, that I feel like are solid people that are going to help me not only in my business, but help me in my personal life, which is really awesome. You know, we got to do this podcast. How awesome is that? If it wasn't for the pandemic, me and Mel would have never probably have met. We might have met, who knows, right? But probably never would have thought about this, right? To joining forces. And it was just kind of definitely just like, you know, just a kind of cool moment. And so, like I said, I'm super thankful for that. And I'm super just thankful for trying to end the year strong. So those are some of the things that I think happened this year. I mean, I'm probably missing a couple of things, right? But those are the ones that kind of just stuck out in my mind. Yeah,
you got some baby chicks.
Oh yes,
don't forget about your baby chicks.
Right, we have some baby chicks.
I you know, obviously being us yellows, right? We like to be positive and optimistic. So I always try to find the you know, the blessings and the lessons in everything that I do. And even if it is something that happens that is a negative thing or tragic, you know, that there's always a reason and there's always something positive that comes out of it. So I do think that with some of the changes that and you know, things that have happened this year, trying to take the good out of it, obviously, and see, you know, the things that were there, meant to happen, you know, for the better. So yeah, I was really glad to be able, you know, unfortunately, with the shutdown at the beginning, I wasn't busy. That had affected my business, but it actually made me reevaluate some of the things that I do with my business and on client wise and marketing wise. You know, I did the mass drive and the care packages that I was able to give back to the community. And that really helped me get through a lot of things that I was going through with my sister, even to make me feel like I was able to give back to people in need. And, you know, at that time too, like I said, I was reevaluating things with my business, and I pitched a couple clients that I wanted to do work for, and they bit. And I have, you know, 3 new clients, obviously Hummelstown here, you know, with the borough and doing communications. And I'm really having a lot of fun, even though it's not necessarily the invitations and design that I'm used to. You know, I do that for the dentist office. And I just started kind of a partnership with a new business here that I'm going to, you know, kind of join forces and be able to be out helping each other. And there's a new business in Hershey a sweet ride. We're going to hear about that a little bit more, but a circuit that I'm going to start doing some marketing for them as well. So a lot of opportunities that came about, I think just because I had to refocus, and everyone uses the word pivot and in all these things and be creative, but there were some really great new monthly contracts and clients that I got out of it too.
That's awesome. And I posted something today, especially with the shutdown that we just got. And it was just a guy standing on a stair step, and then there was a big hole, and then there was a door, and it just said simply overcome. Right. And so, at some point we're all going to have to figure out how to overcome the obstacles that are in our lives. If you don't, then you're just going to be where you've always been. But I have a special guest that you should be thankful for that you got to meet. So hold on a second.
Bear. It's Bear.
It's Bear, everyone.
Hey, Bear.
Bear says Merry Christmas, and he can't wait to see you. But
Merry Christmas,
he said you better be thankful for him, right?
I am so thankful for Bear and Layla.
Layla's somewhere.
Little buddies.
So our special guest today is Bear. Everybody got a chance to meet my dog. Millennials love their dogs, so I love my dog. Right? And so
they do.
But let's talk about it really quickly. Kind of your goals for 2021, because it's coming. And if you don't have plans for it, it's definitely not going to happen. So what are some of your goals for 2021?
Yeah, so I definitely want to fine tune some of these, the direction that I'm going in with doing more of the design and marketing. And although I don't want to, give up the invitations and stationery side of things, I am working on still doing an online store with that. But I just think being able to know that it's okay to let go of things, and that if things change, or if they go, I think I'm just gonna try to be more optimistic and continue to go in the direction that I'm going. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah. But I'll have a new pad, a new place I'm living. So I'm excited to get that, get there and just have some changes. I feel like with independence and starting a new chapter.
Yeah.
35. I'm just starting my life.
Well, I'm not too far behind you. I'm about to turn 34 next year in March. So I'm
yeah.
But like you said, it's kind of interesting. Like you could spin that two ways. You can be sad about it, super sad, or you can say, hey, 2021's coming. Everything's new, fresh slate.
Yep.
You've changed some things, right? And now those are all changes for the better, right? You're going to be able to do things that you might have not been able to do in 2020, right? And so for me, 2021 is good. So I read this book by Grant Cardone. It's called 10X. It's basically the mindset of just 10Xing your action, 10Xing everything, right? So one of the things was I looked at a lot of things I was shooting for, and I just 10X'd everything. So all my production that I was going to do for my business. And so there's some scary numbers there, but it's good. Fear is good because it means I want it, right? If I didn't have that feeling, I wouldn't want it. And so 10Xing those goals, opening my own office. I know I wanted to do that this year, but everything with the pandemic, right, definitely put a hamper on that. But just because I didn't hit it this year doesn't mean I can't hit it next year. So, and then, I kind of have a goal for this, right? I definitely want to grow this podcast, right? I want to, I'm going to put a number out there. I want to surpass it, but definitely in that 10,000 follower range. I think that would be a great goal for next year. But just, take it a little bit further. And, obviously, hopefully with with maybe some of the stuff reopening, we can go on site to places, right. And do those types of things. I think that would be kind of fun and cool. But, I have big hopes for 2021. I think if you are pessimistic about it, that's what you're going to get out of it. And so I'm hopeful that things will definitely be a little bit different. And so that's what I'm looking for 2021.
Yeah. I think also going through a lot of the things that we went through this year, and our family and our friends and businesses, teaching us resilience. And I think going into 2021, I think a lot of us, especially me, but I think a lot of us really need to the confidence to say, hey, we got through this, we got through X, we got through 2020, and all of the bad things that may have happened and the ugly things that we talked about, but that we can get through anything, keeping that mentality and that positivity into, anything that does happen. Just that strength, I feel like, is just like keeping it going. And knowing that into next year, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Get through anything. And I have one of these like kind of a partnership-ish thing that I was telling you about with the client that they approached me, could really change the game for me and my business. It might look different into 2021 of what I'm doing, but there's been some things with a wedding yard sale event that I've had that got canceled this year. We were going to take it to California in January, which we had to postpone again. And I had started with a business partner, my friend Jason, at an apparel company years ago. It was like, this is what 30 looks like. This is what engaged looks like. It was called This Is What. We still have it, but we just didn't really do much with it. And there's opportunities with this new company that I've started doing some work with that can actually have the backing and the power and that could potentially see those through now. So, there's opportunities, I feel like, with some of the things that I had started that I never, put, whether it was just not able to, or I couldn't do it alone, or, I gave up. I don't know. Whatever it is, there's some really big opportunities to get that back with help. And I'm excited to see where that can go in the next 6-8 months. So. Yeah.
And just to kind of wrap this up, because Mel's got to go, she's got a meeting, so I don't want to take too much of her time, but
work.
We're always working, guys. But something that you said it a couple of times, and I noticed these things. I don't know if Mel notices me. I say this a lot. I notice when you say things, but I noticed that you used a very specific word like 5 or 6 times when you were talking, and it was the word opportunity. And you used it, like I said, about 5 or 6 times. And so that's my word for 2021. And so last year I chose a word, which was growth, right?
Okay.
And you have to be careful what word you choose, because it could mean anything. Growth, and so I thought growth in my business, growth in, in those types of areas. But what I didn't realize is that in order to grow my business, need to grow as a person. And so 2020 really, was very a self-reflective year, lots of reading, lots of stuff like that. And so opportunity. So you can only take bigger opportunities if you're growing as a person, right? The bigger your roots are, the higher the tree's going to grow. So I thought that was just kind of a good segue right there to let you know that opportunity is there in 2021.
It is. And it's really funny that when I sat down with these 2 business owners, I actually felt like I was at the right place at the right time, and just everything was going right. I just felt really good about everything, because I have had opportunities come to me before and I wasn't ready. And I even said that to them, this is an attractive offer. This is an attractive idea that I'd like to entertain a conversation. And it went weeks and weeks, and I was scared, and there was fear and all of these things until we broke it down, and we're taking baby steps here. But honestly, if I hadn't gone through some of the things in 2020 and the growth that you said, it was a huge year for me for growth too, personally and professionally, and just clarity in the sense too, that I wouldn't have been able to really probably even wrap my head around some of these opportunities that are there. And I also know that not to rush things either. So that they'll come, and and just to be open-minded to things. So yeah, I agree. Opportunity.
That's a great
2021.
word, right? So I think it's time for the millennial meme of the week.
Millennial
And
meme.
it is definitely Mel's turn, because I feel like I've done it the last 2 weeks, right? Yeah, because I did the week before and then the week after. But I think it's definitely Mel's turn, and so I know she's got a meme because I can kind of see it. I don't know what it says, but I see it a little bit.
I always have trouble because I always get two that I really like and I can't decide. But if for this matter, why don't we? I'll decide on this one. So I'm gonna pop her up, and it says the 2020 I wanted, and it's futuristic, and it says the 2020 I got, and it's a nice man here with some fanoodles on his head, looking like a spaced out weirdo instead of this, the beautiful space.
He looks like a weird like Santa. Like
he does, but this is a good reflection of what the 2020 we all expected, and then what we got was clearly not anything close to that. This poor guy. So I thought that was a good one. But
that's amazing. I love that, just because of the simple fact, like you look at like the
noodles.
No, you look at like the cartoons, the Jetsons and stuff like that. They all predict like 2020 flying cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, not the year we got, but
not the year we got, but still we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna definitely make 2021 a better year than what we got out of this one. So, but anyways, I mean, there's another point in the show where we kind of have another moment, and it's a Mel's moment, right? It's the time of the show where we leave you with a word of advice from Mel, right? The wisdom from Mel. She's going to bestow upon us. I tried to do a good job last week. I tried to channel you like into me, and I was like, what would Mel say in this moment? And I think it was okay, but it definitely definitely wasn't what you would probably have said. But give us your Mel's moment of the last couple of weeks here in December.
You did a great job last week carrying the Billy's moment and the meme and everything there. I saw something recently that was probably a quote or a meme about, we're all, like everyone says, oh, we're in the same boat. We're all going through this with 2020, and that everyone's going through something, right? We've, and please be kind and all this. But it said, we're not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm. And I really liked that, because while COVID and 2020 and the stresses and the struggles and a lot of these things that have happened to we're all not going through bad things. And some people are going through way worse than we are. Yeah. But the storm, I feel like, is what we're all is there. And I feel that, trying to keep that optimism, like we said, into 2021 and finish out this year. I think we're not going to be able to do as much socializing now that things are, restrictions have happened till the beginning of January now. So I think we focus on family and, trying to finish out the year with, maybe everyone should do their year in review for the next 3 weeks and see how they can do better in 2021. But that, while we are all going through something, but it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
So just weigh the storm, and let's get through this into next year and all the opportunities that we have.
Look at that. Great segue. I love it. Mel's opportunity, guys. She's back. She didn't even skip a beat, guys.
I missed you.
But anyways, guys, we appreciate everybody that jumped on. Make sure you comment, like, share this with your friends, family, stuff like that. Show us some support. We really do appreciate it. But like she said, make some good memories this weekend. And try to support some local restaurants in your area, wherever that is at. make sure you support those guys. But anyways, we really do appreciate it. Check us out next Friday, 12 o'clock. We'll see you then. Have a good one, guys.